did not know the duties of the sheriff, he maintains the peace, protects life and property, provides service to the community, executes and returns, processes, orders of warrants, attends all sessions of Superior Court, attends election sites, publishes sales, citations, and other proceedings as required by law, maintains an executive docket, maintain records of all sales made by process in court, receives from the preceding sheriff all unexecuted warrants, writs, and processes, perform such other duties as imposed by law, exercise same duties and powers and arrest authority within the municipalities. This is just a few. He is also the jail administrator of the county. He maintains and operates the county jail, responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of the inmates, provides prisoners with food, clothing, exercise, recreation, medical services, responsible for supervision, protection of the constitutional rights of those inmates. He also is the officer of the court, is responsible for bailiffs in the Superior Court, probate court. He serves summons and subpoenas, service of civil papers. He also executes all warrants. And the thing about the sheriff of Georgia, even though there's 159 of them, each and every one of them and their deputies have the authority with a warrant to go anywhere the flag flies. Dr. Martin Luther King, in his book, Why We Can't Wait, said in 1963, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And what I want you to know is the sheriff of Newton County, when he took office January 1st, 2009, the average training hours for the deputies was about 12,000 hours. This past year, in 2016, there's 261 of us, and we completed 26,237 hours of training. Another thing you need to know about our sheriff is he is a member of the National Sheriff Association, Georgia chapter of Arson Investigators, International chapter of Arson Investigators, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, Georgia Sheriff's Association, Executive Board member, DeKalb Technical College, Executive Board member of Salvation Army, Covington Chapter, Board member of the Georgia Sheriff Standard and Training Council. He is also the Vice President of our region, Region 2, which includes Cherokee, Cobb, Forsyth, Gwinnett, DeKalb, Fulton, Henry, Rockdale, Walton, Clayton, and of course, Newton County. Just wanted to end with just a little thing here. Chapter 9, 2 Corinthians says, but this I say, he which soweth sparsely shall reap sparsely, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he has purposed in his heart. So let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. And God is able to make all grace abound toward you, that ye always have all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work. And the reason I read that is because every time I read that, I think about the sheriff. The man's got 4 phones. Some of us love what we do, and we're at the sheriff's office probably more than we're at home. And the thing is most of the days when I go over there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I see the sheriff.
It is indeed an honor to stand and give some words to Sheriff Ezell Brown. when they told me they wanted me to say a few words, I think the reason they called me because we worked together, known each other for a number of years. And so when I talked with Sheriff Brown, he said, I heard you may say a few words about me. And I said, yeah. He said, what are you going to say? And I said, well, I won't say too much that will embarrass you. And so he told me that, please do not. And I said, it's a price that goes with this. And for some reason or another, he said, well, just go ahead and tell it all. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I first met Sheriff Brown back in 1973 when he came to work with the Covington Police Department. Ezell is what I'm going to call him because we're friends. And he called me Alden, I called him Ezell, but we respect each other's positions. When he came to work for the police department, we developed a close relationship during the time that he was with the department. We would often talk about his hometown, and we would tease him about being a little old country boy, and could he deal with the big city of Covington with all the tall buildings. Later I found out that Ezell was an excellent brick mason, and he started his contracting company known as Brown Group. On his off days, you would see him and his workers working across the county. In 1977, Ezell left the police department and went to work for the Newton County Sheriff's Department. However, our working relationship did not end there. We were members of the first SWAT team formed by the Newton County Sheriff's Department and the Covington Police Department. Ezell Brown, Dale Reed, Tim Allen, Joe Nichols, Willie Davis, and I were the first members of the team. Our SWAT team was a very elite group of men that were dedicated in being the best that they could be. I remember the very intense training we went through in order to make us the best in performing our duties as a SWAT team member. Our uniform wore a brown jumpsuit, the kind that plumbers wore. It had large block letters, SWAT, written on the back. We had black jump boots and brown ball caps with SWAT across the front. We had a black station wagon for our SWAT vehicle. We joined the Metro SWAT organization that was made up of different SWAT teams throughout the metro area. I remember our first training with the other groups in DeKalb County. As we traveled to DeKalb, we could not wait to show off our uniforms and to put our training to work. As we pulled up on the campus, we were overwhelmed by all the SWAT vans, the black VDU uniforms, the equipment the other teams had. Our team leader, Joe Nichols, told us, let's go out here and do our best. I must admit, we did make some comments about our uniforms and our vehicle. We often said they probably think we are plumbers or carpenters. Once we got over all the fancy uniforms and equipment and the other teams had, we went on to outperform the majority of the other teams. Our team went on to outperform other teams in other competitions that we competed in. I guess you're wondering why I'm telling you this SWAT story. I'm glad you asked. We all learned a very valuable lesson. Fancy uniforms and equipment does not perform the task. It is the person that is in the uniform that executes the task. I will tell you another story later about the SWAT team. Just hold on a minute. I think this is one reason why Sheriff Brown has successfully had a successful career in law enforcement. I would like to share with you some of Sheriff Brown's accomplishments. In 1978, he became the first African American to be promoted to sergeant for the Newton County Sheriff's Department. In 1985, he was the first African American to be promoted to lieutenant. In 2008, he was the first African American to win the nomination and become the first black sheriff of Newton County. Sheriff Brown was re-elected for sheriff in 2012 and 2016. He is currently Region Vice President of the Georgia Sheriff's Association. Sheriff Brown has received numerous awards such as the NAAC Award, Who's Who, Young Rising Americans, Trailblazers Award, Martin Luther King I Have a Dream Award, just to name a few. In March of this year, under the leadership of Sheriff Brown, his department will receive its third accredited certification through the Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement. This achievement has placed the Newton County Sheriff's Department as one of only 4 sheriff's departments in Georgia and 56 in the United States to achieve this status. During Sheriff Brown's tenure as sheriff in Newton County, he has shown nothing but professionalism in serving the citizens of Newton County. As I remember mentioned earlier, I was going to tell you another story about our adventure with the SWAT team. Well, we were on our way to training in Bibb County. This was going to be an all-day training. And those of you who know me, I love to eat. I tried not to miss a meal. So I made 10 sandwiches, and these sandwiches were made with the best of meat, bologna. As we made preparations to leave, they all saw the sandwiches that I had and began to make fun of me and asked, "Why are you carrying all those sandwiches?" And I told them, this is going to be a long day, and we may not even get a break, and I'm going to have something to eat. So we started the day, and it was very hot, and they really worked us that day. When we could eventually would take a break, I would eat either half or a whole sandwich. I noticed how they were looking at me and making their little smart remarks. Guess what? We didn't get a lunch break, and Ezell and Willie began to beg for a sandwich. I shared my sandwich with the others because we were a team. That is what Sheriff Brown instills within the men and women at his department, is to work as a team, regardless of what you do or don't have. In closing, I would like to leave you with this scripture. Proverbs 19:20-21. Listen to the advice and accept discipline, and at the end, you will be counted among the wise. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is Lord's purpose that will prevail. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
I am proud to say that we have our first Black African American sheriff here with us tonight. I'm also proud that I have known him for many, many years. I know that he's a family man, a good man, father, people's man, and a man that understands life is not just about us. So I say to Sheriff Brown, the city of Covington welcomes you. I remember once Mrs. Williams and I met Sheriff Brown in the city hall, and she asked him, so what are you doing here in our city hall? He said, don't you forget the citizens in the county. So I just remember that part. I'm thinking that Sheriff Brown, as he moved on in his life, that he had a vision to make a difference in the city in which he lived. There were challenges, and there was things had to be done. And I just like to say to him, never forget, we are all in this together. Regardless to what we think about each other, we have a job to do as elected officials. The city sends their love and hope that you move forward.